Hi everyone! Today we'll be talking about finding slopes graphically when given a line. Here's the focused learning target. Given a graph of a line, I will be able to find the slope by looking at the graph. So, what exactly is the slope? Well, the slope tells you how steep a line is. The slope gives you the steepness of the line. So there's a few types of slopes we can have. So think about a literal slope that you might be walking up or down. So if you're walking down, it would be a negative slope. And if you're walking on a flat surface, that means you're walking on a surface with a slope of 0. And then a positive slope is like going uphill. We can't walk up a wall, so this kind of straight vertical line has no slope. So there are negative slopes, slopes of 0, positive slopes, and undefined slopes. Notice that when we're looking at slope, we're looking at the line going from left to right. So going from left to right, is the line going down, up? Does it stay flat? What does it do? So again, the slope tells us how steep a line is, and we use m to describe the slope. So in a little more mathematical terms, m is the change in y over the change in x. So again, we have the change in y over the change in x. So what that means, the change in y is the line going up and down, whereas the change in x is how much the line goes to the right or the left. In simpler terms, this is simply the rise over run. So basically, how much do we go up or down over how much do we go left or right? And here are some general associations. Whenever you hear going up or going to the right, think positive. And then whenever you're going left or down, think negative. And then a good way to remember this is like how if you look at a thermometer, if you think about the weather, the lower the temperature, you know how we say, oh, it's going into the negatives? Or I guess, I don't know, we don't hear that because we're in California, but you know. And then for the left and right associations, think about a number line. When we go to the right, it becomes more positive. Today we're focusing on how to find the slope graphically. So notice we're given the graph of a line here, and we have to find the slope by looking at the graph. First, I'm going to choose 2 points on the line. So I chose these 2 points, and then I want to see how much it rises. So it goes up 2, so that would be a positive 2, and it runs to the right 1, so that'd be a positive 1. And now we're going to throw this into the slope formula. So m equals rise, which is the positive 2, over run, which is the positive 1. So I'm going to replace this. I have positive 2 over positive 1. And what's 2 divided by 1? 2. So I know that my slope here is m equals 2. We had our rise, so that's the positive 2. So the rise is the positive 2, the 2 going up. And then the run is the positive 1. We went to the right one. So we found the slope, m equals 2, by looking at how to go from one point to another on the line. Notice here that we have a positive slope because it's going uphill. Let's find the slope of this line by looking at the graph. Notice that we'll get a positive slope because it's going uphill. Let's see, I'm going to choose 2 points on the graph. So this one at the edge and this one. I tend to choose ones that are exactly on the grid line so it's easier to count. So we go up 1 and right 3. So positive 1 and positive 3. M equals rise over run. So again, we went up 1, so positive 1. And we went to the right 3, so positive 3. Again, the rise was positive 1, and the run was positive 3. And so for this one, our slope is m equals 1 over 3. And right here, we're just going to leave it as a fraction. Basically, every time we go up 1, we go 3 to the right. Please try this next example on Edpuzzle. I put the points down for reference, but you can use other points if those are easier. Find the slope of this line by looking at the graph. For this next example, since it's going downhill, we're going to have a negative slope. So let's find 2 points that we can use here. Let's see, which points do I want to use? I'm going to choose this one on the edge and this one. Right, so again, m, the slope, equals rise over run. So starting from this point at the edge, we go down 2, so it's going to be a negative 2, and then we move to the right 3, so positive 3. So our rise is negative 2, and then over our run, which is positive 3. Our slope is m equals negative 2 over 3, a negative slope. We could have also gone from the second point to that point on the edge. In that case, we would have gone up 2, so positive 2, and left 3, so negative 3. So positive 2 over negative 3 would have still equaled the same thing, negative 2/3. Please try this example on Edpuzzle. Notice here we have a negative slope. So your answer should be some kind of negative number. For this example, notice that I have a horizontal line, so a flat surface. So I know that my slope is going to be 0, but let's make sure. So I'm going to choose 2 points. I'll just choose these ones right next to each other. And the slope, m equals rise over run. Notice here we don't go up or down anything. So basically my rise is 0 and I go right 1, so my run is positive 1. So 0 over 1, 0 divided by anything is simply 0. That's how I know that m equals 0. So if you see a horizontal line, a flat surface, you know that the slope is 0. Alright, so please try this one on Edpuzzle. What is the slope of this line? Notice that it's like a flat surface. And remember how earlier I said that a vertical line has an undefined slope? Let's take a look at why this is true. So I'm going to find 2 points on the line. I'll just choose these 2 right here. And I know that the slope can be found by doing rise over run. And so I notice here I rise 1, so positive 1, but I don't run anything. I don't go to the left or the right. So I have 1 over 0, and this is undefined. So this is like the undefined logo because you can't divide anything by 0. So that's why we have an undefined slope. So again, if you see a vertical line, know that the slope is undefined. So let's take a look at how you'll be doing assignments on Delta Math. You're going to be doing the same thing we are doing throughout the examples. So you're going to be given a line and you have to find the slope graphically. So you're going to draw a line representing the rise. So go up or down. I went down 1. Then you're going to draw a line representing the run. So how much do I go to the right? And here I'm going to put in the slope. So I'm going to count. I went down 1 and right 5, which is negative 1 over 5. Submit my answer and look here, I'm correct. Yay! So just as a quick review, the slope tells you the steepness of a line. And you can have a positive or negative slope as well as a slope of 0. There's also undefined slopes. And to find the slope, we use this formula. M equals the change in y over the change in x, which is the same thing as doing rise over run. So how much do we go up or down over how much do we go left or right? Great job today, and please make sure to submit your notes.